Hi guys, Olive here. Today I will be doing my March 2016 wrap-up and April 2016 TBR. I had a pretty decent reading month in March. I started off really strong with all the books that I wanted to read on vacation, and I ended up reading a good amount of them. But then the month went on and life kept getting crazier and crazier, so I didn't get all the reading done I wanted to, but I'm still very pleased with it. The 3 books that I read on vacation that I have already spoken about in my vacation vlog, which I will link down below if you're interested in watching. The first one was The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck by Sarah Knight. The second one was Sorcery and Cecilia, or The Enchanted Chocolate Pot by Patricia C. Reed and Caroline Stevermer. And the third one was Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel, translated by Carol and Thomas Christensen. A book that I was supposed to read for the Underhyped Reads Readathon, but did not get finished because I was way too busy preparing for vacation, but ended up finishing in the airport on the way home, was Unfortunate English, The Gloomy Truth Behind the Words We Use by Bill Brohow. This book will talk about some of the more grisly origins of the words that we use every day that seem harmless, but actually got their start in some pretty nasty stuff. First and foremost, the book has beautiful end papers. It also has really dark illustrations with each chapter title. The word that probably blew my mind the most with its origins was the word alarm. Again, it seems harmless. It actually has its origins in a call to arms, all arm, which was eventually shortened to alarm. This whole book is fascinating like that. Definitely check it out if you are interested in etymology, in language. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. A book that I started on the airplane home but didn't quite finish until we had already made it home was You Go Bernadette by Maria Semple. I had heard more than one person rave about this book on Booktube. It came out a few years ago. I had been meaning to get to it forever, and I am so glad I did. I loved every minute of this book. I did laugh out loud and probably did embarrass myself while I read it in public. I have never experienced a book before that can be funny and snarky while still being heartfelt and meaningful. I just loved the hell out of this book. The characters were so fleshed out. I really felt a part of this whole story of this family. If you don't know, this is about a young girl named Bee who was promised a trip to Antarctica by her parents if she got perfect grades. Well, she got perfect grades, and then they owe her a trip to Antarctica. Bee and her mother Bernadette spend a long time planning this trip and really throw themselves into it. But then about 3 days before they're supposed to leave for the trip, Bernadette disappears. This whole book is Bee going back through correspondences and trying to piece the story together in the months before her mother disappeared to try to get an idea of where her mother went, to try to get her to come back. Bernadette is a fascinating character. Her backstory was mind-blowing. I ripped through this book as soon as we got home from vacation, and I had to give it 5 stars. I wasn't super happy with the ending, but I still felt like it deserved 5 stars because I enjoyed it so much. Also, I definitely want to reread this, and I hear that the audiobook is narrated by the character of Liz from Gilmore Girls. I forget that actress's name, but I've heard amazing things about this audiobook. So I think the next time I experience this book, I want it to be on audio. The next book I experienced in March was a buddy read with Kate from Kate Howe, and we decided to read Loris by Yevgeny or Eugene Vodolaskin. Now, this book is obviously gorgeous, and it takes place in Russia during the 15th century, and is about a mystical healer who is trying to rid the Russian countryside of some kind of a plague. At first, I was really not sure how to feel about this book. I think that was partially because of the language, which has nothing to do with the translation. The translation, which was done by Lisa Hayden, was absolutely excellent. But she faced a lot of challenges in translating this book because in the original Russian text, there is a lot of Old Church Slavonic, which would be the English equivalent of Old English, put in here alongside of more modern slang and then just everyday language. So what Lisa Hayden did was take that Old Church Slavonic and translate it to be Old English. But it's really jarring to see modern slang right up against Old English. I was really thrown by it, but slowly I started to get more into it. And then probably from page 50 to 150, I was really interested. The main character has mystical healing powers. His backstory is really interesting. He finally gets settled in an area, but he has all this guilt from his past, and it's like he won't let himself be happy. And then after that point, he starts down a whole other road. I'm not going to go into specifics because I do not want to spoil it in case you want to read it, but it just never felt like it had a point. I never felt that the story was going anywhere. It was really boring, both Kate and me, a lot. It was really repetitive. People kept beating each other up for really no reason. I didn't know how many times the author felt as though I needed to be told that the main character was mystical and was able to heal people mystically. It's like, here he is doing a mystical healing here. Oh, look, he's doing mystical healing over here. He's still mystical. Did you know that? It's like, yeah, I got that by now. Thank you. It was really, really upsetting that I did not like this book as much as I thought I was going to. I thought that this was supposed to be a new favorite of mine, and I'd be coming to you in this wrap up, singing its praises and telling you how wonderful it was. But unfortunately, it really, really did not turn out that way. So Kate and I decided together to DNF this because we both were extremely uninterested as the book went on. We had read on Goodreads reviews that the first 150 pages were good, and then it's boring for 200 pages, and then the last 30 pages are good again. And I don't have that kind of time. I did give this one a rating because we did get about 2/3 of the way done, which is enough for me to feel warranted in giving it a rating. So I gave it 2 stars because there were things in the early pages that I liked, but I just couldn't finish it. And the last book that I officially finished in March was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I've already done a separate video on this in my A Grown Woman Finally Reads Harry Potter series. I will link that down below if you're interested, but I gave this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I, of course, had some comments about it in the video, but overall, I really liked it, and I'm really excited to move forward. There are 2 books that I am still working on that I meant to finish in March, but things got kind of crazy. So the first one is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón and Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond, which I am listening to on audio. I am over halfway done with both of these books. I will definitely be talking about The Shadow of the Wind because I'm loving it. Talk about that in my April wrap up, and I'm thinking about doing a separate review of Guns, Germs, and Steel. I think I have a lot to say about this, and a couple people requested that I do a review of this, so that'll probably be coming. So now on to the books that I am going to be reading in April. First and foremost, I will be reading The Winner's Kiss by Marie Witkowski. This is the 3rd book in the Winner's trilogy. I read the previous 2 in the 2 previous years when they were released. I was okay with the first one, absolutely loved the second one. I am so excited to see how this series finishes out. I've already seen a few people talk about it on BookTube. They've already read it and they're saying good things about it. So it is already on my Nook and my body is ready. Then of course I'll be picking up the 4th Harry Potter book for my ongoing series. I'm going to be doing a few buddy reads this month. The first of them being H is for Hawke. I am reading this with Kelly from What Kelly Reads. This is a nonfiction book about a woman who is a bird trainer whose father dies, and in order to process her grief, she decides to start training a goshawk, which is the most difficult bird to train, hands down, but she really needed something to throw herself into. So this is her tale of taming a goshawk. I have heard everyone on Book Riot pretty much sing this book's praises, and I know Kelly really is interested in birds. I have been dying to read this one, and as soon as I heard her say that, I'm like, oh yeah, we have to read this book together. Towards the end of the month, I'll be picking up East of Eden by John Steinbeck with Hillary from Your Robot Friend. We both have been absolutely dying to read this book. I have heard so many people call this one of their all-time favorites. There was recently a thread on Our Books on Reddit talking about how this book absolutely changes people's lives. So even though it's huge, I am really, really excited to read this. And then with a group of booktubers, I'll be buddy reading Emma by Jane Austen. I absolutely loved Pride and Prejudice in February, so I have been really looking forward to moving on to other Austen books. This was a buddy read that people had already had set up and they invited me in, and I'm so grateful. I am really looking forward to reading this one. And then because I am reading Emma this month, I will absolutely then have to go watch the movie Clueless, because that's the book that Clueless is based off of. And because I'm doing that, I decided to pick up As If. This is the oral history of the making of the movie Clueless, and I absolutely love that movie so much. It is like the movie to end all movies. There is no competition. It is the best movie ever. I've heard that the tone of Emma is really happy. I know that the tone of Clueless is really happy. I am so excited to read this book. It seems just perfect for spring. There's a renewal, everything is happy and new. That's definitely the mood I want to be in, so this is one that I'm picking up. So those are my formal plans for the month of April. I do have 1 or 2 books that I'm going to see if I can fit in, but I don't want to talk about them just in case I'm not able to. I really hope that some of these books will overlap with Genrethon, which is a really awesome readathon being hosted by Lauren from Lauren in the Books, Joss from Squibbles Reads, Brittany from Under the Radar Books, and Kristen from Vienna Waits Books. I've been really wanting to participate, but I just don't know what my time is going to be like. But if I'm reading some different genres of books anyway, then I'm really hoping that there's going to be some awesome overlap that I can participate in that. I'm definitely going to be participating in the Dewey's 24-hour readathon. I'm already signed up. I urge you to go do so. I'll put the link down below for you to go do so. I'm not sure if I'll be reading just some of my April TBR books for the readathon, or if I'll be picking up different books. I guess we'll see when we get closer to the event. If you've read any of these books, want to read any of these books, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you. If you'd like to find me anywhere else on social media, all of the links are down below. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.